lateral lunge with the contralateral reach. Contralateral reach refers to the opposite arm of the lunging leg. Now, if you're not familiar with the lateral lunge, it is where we're going to be just stepping sideways or laterally with one leg while the other leg stays straight. In this case, I'm going to be just laterally lunging with my right leg, loading into it, and then driving off to return over to my left leg. The left leg, meanwhile, is going to be straight ahead, pointing at the foot, flat, the leg itself extended through the knee, and like a tree in the forest, I'm just going to fall or timber off to the side, catch myself with this leg, and rebound back to center. Both feet ideally want to be pointing straight ahead as you perform the lateral lunge, but for some of us, you may need to turn the feet ever so slightly outward to accommodate the action. If that is the case, then over time what we're going to try and do is open up the mobility in the hips, the flexibility in the muscles surrounding the pelvis, the thighs and whatnot, so that we can accommodate a straight foot position. Because all that's really happening for most people is a stiffness that's not allowing our feet to be pointing straight ahead. So in the case of the contralateral reach, if I'm lunging to the right, my reaching arm is going to be my left. So I can reach low, I can reach forward, I can reach overhead, I can reach one side or the other. It doesn't necessarily mean one is better than the other or one is right or wrong. They're just varieties of ways in which we can drive our body mass over a lunging complex. So lunging over and reaching across is going to encourage my torso to rotate and load even more into this side, and then driving back. I could have myself lunge and actually take my opposite arm and reach back to that leg and then come up. That's one way of doing it. It will encourage a lot more opening of this tissue or lengthening of the tissue underneath my thigh as I reach back in that direction. I can also lunge to the right and reach overhead. This will drive my rib cage off to the side of the lunging leg, really loading much more into this position and then driving back. Then as I lunge, I can also reach across at about shoulder or chest level. I can reach back. Any of these variations are really nice to explore. Now obviously, as I start reaching further and further higher or outward, the weight of my arm may prove to be enough resistance for me to hold, especially around my shoulder girdle. So if you've got shoulder issues, I don't suggest taking 10-pound dumbbells or heavier necessarily and starting to reach out while you're in these positions. Start to get used to the arm length or weight as you do this, the reach and so on, before actually loading some weights into the furthest point out there. Just like holding perhaps a weight or bowling ball, say, close to your center is relatively easy compared to holding it way out here. Just the weight of your arm extending out is going to provide a lot of work to the body. So don't feel like you have to be too aggressive with the arm loading. Just go with the reach and see what happens to the rest of your body. Like everything else, you're going to assess, you're going to move, you're going to reassess. Did this bring about a more central place for you to stand? Did it encourage an opening of movement? Did you feel like it was easier to walk and move? You can also use the ANS, single leg balance, total body rotation, scarecrow, shoulder flexion, shoulder abduction, any of these, even the peripheral vision test. All these can give you feedback whether or not this movement is what you need at this time.